Hello and good morning. Welcome to Eye Openers. We're going to continue this month with our discussion about blue light, and really what I wanted to touch on this month was what we can do to protect our eyes from blue light and who is at the greatest risk for running into issues with blue light. So, just as a reminder, blue light or high energy visible light comes from our LED backlit devices, which in today's world is pretty much every computer, tablet, iPhone, and now even some of our overhead lighting for sure. This light is right next to ultraviolet light on the visible spectrum, and our concern about this light is its role in causing eye strain, dry eye, and perhaps leading to the early development of cataracts and macular degeneration through consistent use of these devices throughout our life. Of course, the progressive eye conditions, the jury is still out in that regard, but has definitely caused us to look into this issue in more detail and say, hey, because we're spending so much time on these devices, how can we protect ourselves? So I think the patients who are at greatest risk for blue light exposure are really anybody who's using a computer. And when I ask patients how much time they spend on digital devices, I rarely see people report less than 3 hours. Some people even 10 hours plus a day. And you think about, you go to work, you come home, or you go before you go to bed. When you get up in the morning, we're always looking at a digital device. The other important group to talk about is kids. The pediatric population we know has greater exposure to ultraviolet light. They get about 3 times the UV exposure that adults get inside of the eye because their eye structures are so crystal clear and young. We also know that kids these days are really using iPads and Chromebooks at school all day long. So you get an 8-hour exposure at school, and they come home, they may want to work on a device for homework, or they may have a device to kind of unwind. So the pediatric population is a huge group that I talk to, the parents and the kids themselves, about blue light exposure. So how do we protect our eyes from this? Well, simply don't use digital devices. No, I'm kidding. The use of digital devices is here to stay, and that's not going to change. So we've come up with some really neat ways to protect our eyes. One of them is with glasses. I prescribe for all of my patients a lens coating. It's called Hoya Recharge. Hoya is the lab that I work with, which is really a leader in ophthalmic technology. And they've come up with a coating that kicks off that blue light and protects our eyes from excessive exposure. Just like a standard anti-reflective coating, but it really does an excellent job at relaxing our eyes. We have had great success with this with our patients. They all really love the coating and report nice, consistent results with it. Another way that we can really go a step further, there's a lens technology called BlueTech lenses. Now, BlueTech lenses are actually a bit of a yellow tinted lens. Unlike the Recharge, which is a clear coating on the lenses, the BlueTech lenses are a yellow tinted lens. It's a very mild yellow and really relaxes the visual system. Just by kind of dipping the lens in front of the eye, most patients will report a much more relaxed sensation and feeling. But the BlueTech lens is a little bit more specific, meaning if I have patients who are engineers, they may be IT professionals, they're working on the computer constantly, we'll prescribe a second pair of work glasses, just like a carpenter would have a hammer. These patients have BlueTech lenses so they can work with the computer. Really a fantastic lens, a little bit more specialized, but some examples of really the technology that's out there. You may also see some screen covers. Screen covers to date haven't done as well as we had hoped. So really the best way to do it is to, number one, limit time on your digital devices. And if we can't limit time on the digital devices, wear a device that will help protect your eyes. All of my patients that come to see me, we recommend the Recharge now just because we live in a digital world. Wonderful clear coating, does an excellent job of minimizing our exposure, And as I mentioned, for those specific cases where our computer exposure is so great that we can have the benefit from a specialized lens, the BlueTech lens is a wonderful option. You can learn about more for these lens options at our website, or simply stop in and chat with either myself or Jules, and we'll give you much more information. But we look forward to protecting your eyes from blue light and being a guiding light as far as a resource for eye health for years to come for you guys. So of course, any questions, stop on in. Thanks.